feel that Beto momentum? Oh, yeah. Now, remember, Beto was the one, right? The former punk rocker, the rock star, who could turn it all blue in Texas.
Is the third time really the charm? Beto O'Rourke hopes that it is. Is the name recognition enough for Texans to turn Texas blue for Beto?
If Democrats want to make inroads and actually flip Texas from red to blue, then they need candidates like Beto O'Rourke.
He's the only one feeling blue these days because a recent poll from the University of Texas shows him down to Governor Greg Abbott by 11 points. But it was something inside the poll that really caught our eye, and it speaks to the reason we're here tonight. Now, in his 2018 election win, Governor Abbott lost Hispanic voters by 11 points in that University of Texas poll, but he and Beto are now tied at 48% amongst that slice of the electorate. Huge shift. Joining us now, Texas Governor Greg Abbott himself. Governor, good to see you, man. Great to be with you. Now, that's a big shift. I mean, that's a double-digit shift for you. What's happening? Why is the Hispanics coming to the Republican Party?
Two things. One is we constantly reach out to the Hispanic community. No governor has gone down to the Rio Grande Valley more than I have. We're constantly reaching out and connecting with the Hispanic community. And like your other guest tonight, the policies that I'm running on are the policies that the Hispanic community supports. They believe in hard work, entrepreneurs, and hence they want a state that creates jobs and a strong economy. As we gather here tonight, Texas has the fastest growing economy of any state in the United States. Also, Texas, since these folks reelected me, Texas has added far more new jobs than any other state in America. Texas is the place for economic opportunity. But at the same time, Hispanics, whether you're on the border or in Houston, Texas, or North Texas, they don't want Biden's or the Democrats' open border policies. They want a secure border. And because Biden is not doing it, they have to have a governor step up and secure the border. And that's exactly what I'm doing by taking unprecedented action to build a wall, to deploy the National Guard to secure the border. And those who make it in, we're going to bust them up to sanctuary cities, to New York, Washington, D.C., and elsewhere.
Okay. Now, we want everyone to get out and vote because I don't want people to feel complacent, like, oh, we got this. No, everybody's going to get out and vote. Every American who's eligible to vote has to get out there and vote. And I want to play Beto's pitch to MSNBC last night. Watch this.
End or reduce significantly gun violence in this state, especially when it comes to our kids. Let's restore a woman's right to choose. Let's get behind our public educators who are under attack and are leaving the profession by the thousands. The majority of Texans are with us on this. We're going to have the political will to get the job done.
He's anti-Second Amendment. I mean, he'll talk a good game, but he is against gun rights in this state and across this country, is he not?
Well, let's use his words. He said he would confiscate your guns. So he wants to ignore the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution and take your guns.
Well, he's also pushing the abortion issue because the Democrats, for a long time, thought that that was going to be their golden goose here. After the Dobbs decision came down in June, they thought that was going to turn, this state blue and others like it. On that question, how is Texas handling this, given all the suburban women out there who do have a different view on this issue?
Very different than in other states. On the abortion issue, the recent polling that showed, I think in that same poll that you made reference to, it showed who do you choose most on the abortion issue? We're even among women. And so this is an issue where in Texas is a pro-life state.
What's going to happen?
But
other Republicans are kind of running away from it. You're not.
Hold on a second. Very importantly, what everybody in the state now knows, because we've exposed Beto on this issue, Beto is in favor not just of abortion, but abortion of a child to the very last second before a fully developed child is born, and was even against providing medical care for a baby who survives an abortion. That is horrible, what Beto stands for.
So he's the radical on the issue, is your claim?
Beto is the extremist on abortion.
On the issue of ESG and what's happening, the equity agenda for corporate America, and how the energy industry, which is so critical and vital to this state, is just under siege. And they're making a lot of money because the quantity of oil and so forth is down, so prices are up. But the attack on the ability to borrow money for companies that want to drill or want to be, exploring for oil to the extent that they can, it can be devastating. How are you going to fight back on that issue?
Well, unlike Beto, I do support the oil and gas industry. Texas ranks #1 in the United States for oil and gas production, and we will continue to do so. But let me explain to you what we're doing to fight back. Because what we're doing to fight back is last session, I signed a law that exists in Texas now where we are fighting back against any business like BlackRock or USB or UBS or any of these banking companies that discriminate against oil and gas companies and do not lend them money. We are blackballing them.
They're already starting to dry up the money for these companies.
We're blackballing them from doing business in the state of Texas. They cannot participate in any funding.
How about the pension funds in the state?
We're blackballing all of these companies.
Are you cutting them off from the pension
We're
funds?
going to cut them off from the pension funds. All
Okay. That's good. Governor, I can't wait to talk to you after your reelection, but congratulations for everything you've done in this state, and everyone get out and vote for Greg Abbott. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Laura.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.